In this episode, struck by lightning,
Where's your tongue? Let's see it.
the MythBusters tempt fate.
This won't hurt you at all.
Feels like I got a barbell stuck in my tongue.
Will body jewelry get you struck by lightning? Testing a medieval tree cannon.
I need somebody with a whip and a drum.
It's a blast from the past. And man versus machine.
Adam, the police officer, said you need to drink more.
In the battle of the breathalyzer. Who are the MythBusters?
Am I missing an eyebrow?
Adam Savage.
I always enjoyed seeing Adam in pain.
And Jamie Heineman.
Jamie wants big boom.
Between them, more than 30 years special effects experience.
Feel kind of sexy.
They don't just tell the myths,
Farewell, cruel world.
they put them to the test.
Come on,
Please help me up.
yes, we'll carry you.
Hold on. I got struck by lightning?
Yes.
How the f did that happen?
It's not.
In August 2003, Matt Thompson was hit by lightning in the hills outside Keystone, Colorado.
A bolt of lightning taken straight in the chest.
It just came out of nowhere.
The direct hit traveled all the way through Matt's body.
I had no clue what happened.
Matt's story was big news. On websites worldwide, the issue was raging.
Matt, you almost died.
Was Matt's metal tongue stud the reason he was struck?
So my tongue ring.
Oh no, dude, you might have swallowed it.
Let me see. Where's your tongue? Let's see it.
Oh, it's broken off in there, it looks like. Let me see.
Body jewelry attracting lightning strikes? This looks like a job for the MythBusters.
The myth is that wearing a tongue stud increases your chances of being struck by lightning.
So what kind of cockamamie theory is this?
Well, this cockamamie theory says that the lightning bolt is being attracted directly to it.
Like a lightning rod.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds kind of silly.
Being loaded into an ambulance with a fried tongue, you can bet Matt Thompson didn't think it was a silly myth. Still, the boys are skeptical.
It's obvious that jewelry does affect your body if you get struck by lightning, but the question still remains. Does it increase your chances of being struck by lightning?
For the tongue stud lightning test, 2 heads made from Ballistics gel will be mounted near a lightning generator. One of the heads will be pierced with metal studs. Adam and Jamie want to know which head the charge jumps to.
That'll be fun.
Well, that's definitely why we're doing this.
The first job is to build a rig that will attract lightning. They need something big, metal, and round.
Ah, here we are.
That's them.
What, these?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we're using woks because the round surface of a wok is a perfect thing to test an electrical field around because it doesn't have any point that can gather the electricity to a single point. 7, 8. It's like they knew we were coming.
Imagine that.
Normally, you'd probably put the heads on a spike, but that would not give us an accurate test as to the conductivity of the piercing as it relates to the whole head.
How am I going to get those out of there?
Back at the workshop, while Jamie grapples with removing the wok handles, Adam is going into reproduction mode.
I am going to take this casting of my head, and it is me, I swear, and I'm going to fill it with some rigid foam so I can cut it in half and turn it into a vacuform mold to make a bunch of ballistic gel heads. This is where things start to happen kind of fast. There's a point at which it gets clear again. There, see? Now it turns dark. Now it's just about to bubble. That's the trick. Now if you look in here, we can watch it. It's gonna glow all the way up. Isn't that amazing? Oh, look at this. Here it comes. All right, so I mixed too much.
Jamie, ahead of schedule, has found time for art.
I don't know what it is, but it's pretty. It's like a big steel tulip.
Adam, meanwhile, has a solid base for his mold.
There is something strangely satisfying about that.
But getting the plastic shell to form is proving to be a headache.
No. Come on.
Adam's really hard on my tools. He'll tend to plow through things without thinking.
Every time. I hate this frame. It's ripping my fingers to shreds. A little more comfort in your design. That's all I want.
It'll toughen your fingers up. It's good for you.
You, my fingers don't need toughening. Here, let's see if it still fits. Ew. No, that doesn't fit. My head's gotten fatter in the intervening years. As if nobody knew that. All right, let's go do another 9.
Jamie is attaching inverted walks to the tops of metal rods. A non-conductive plexiglass spike will protrude above each walk to hold the dummy's head.
It has to be something that's not going to attract electricity on its own in any specific way. So this is a mount for the head, and when the electrical current, when the lightning bolt is attracted to the head, it'll go to wherever it wants to go on the head, not because of the configuration of this.
Adam has finally created 10 head molds. They need more than 2 in case the high voltage strike blows them apart. They'll be filled with ballistics gel and will mimic the electrical conductivity of the human head. Smart work. But Adam's about to do something not so bright. To get into the spirit of this myth, he's volunteered to get his own tongue pierced.
Hi, are you Joey?
Yeah, hi.
I'm Adam,
Nice to meet you, Adam.
Jamie?
Hey, Jamie, how you doing?
Good.
and I'm here to get a tongue piercing.
Well, let's see your tongue. Yeah, we can put some jewelry in there for you.
All right, have you ever heard any myths about tongue piercings?
No, I've heard some realities about tongue piercings. I don't know about any myths. What do you have in mind?
Well, there's a story going around about a woman in Britain who apparently was struck by lightning, and she said it was because she had a tongue piercing.
Never heard that one.
You never heard that one?
Never heard that one.
You ever had any complaints of anyone struck by lightning?
None of my clients have ever been struck by lightning. So these are some of the basic beads that I have for you to choose from. Probably the most comfortable size to start with is this one right here. If you want to go with something a little fancier, it's possible to wear gemstones for it as well. So if you want to get really flash, you can wear something like that.
What do you think, Jamie? Should I go flash or plain?
I think you should go for maximum conductivity, actually.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Do you have anything shaped like a little, lightning rod or
No
anything?
lightning rods, and we don't have any copper. I think you're going to have to go with the stainless steel.
All right, the stainless steel ball about that size was exactly what I was thinking about.
Okay, that should be great. So why don't you come on in here, have a seat on the dinosaur chair there.
Oh, do I get a lollipop when this is done?
You do get a lollipop when this is done, but only if you earn it.
He's just seen the needle. For once, Adam's at a loss for words.
All right, so, you ready? It's very, very quick and very, very easy. You can set your glasses right there. What I want you to do is swallow one last time. Breathe easy. Give me your tongue. There you go. This won't hurt you at all. I'm not gonna pull on you. Just wanna make sure I got you right where I need you. Piercing's real quick. I'm just getting lined up. Here you go. Give me a breath in and out. You're done. Your jewelry's in. I'm gonna take the clamp off and screw the bead on the bottom, but it won't hurt you. You're absolutely done. Let me just make sure the beads are tight. You can have your tongue back. There you go. You're done.
All right. Woo. That was not so bad. Oh, but now I'm talking all funny. Feels like I got a barbell stuck in my tongue, man. How about that? She sells seashells by the seashore.
In August 2003, Matt Thompson was struck by lightning in Colorado.
to my tongue ring.
No, dude.
Was the lightning attracted to his metal tongue piercing?
Oh, it's broken off in there, it looks like.
To test the myth that body jewelry increases your chance of being struck, Adam and Jamie have enlisted the help of Delta Star West. They manufacture industrial-grade electrical machinery.
We still feel nice and cool.
Adam's freshly made gelatin heads are the focal points.
He has to suffer as much as I have.
A metal stud expertly fitted to one dummy's lower lip.
I should have been a surgeon. All right, let's see how it does.
We have this gigantic bank of capacitors, which creates over 1 million volts at something like 1,000 amps. And it's sending electricity across this wire through this electrode, and these heads, which are grounded, will complete the circuit.
Essentially, they're making mini lightning at the flick of a switch. 1 million volts stored in a capacitor will discharge down a wire, jumping to the ground through one of the two heads.
We're hoping to find that it shows a preference to go to one head or the other. And if it shows a preference to go to the one with the barbell, then we'll know that you're more likely to get struck by lightning. If it doesn't, if it goes for this head, then the myth is busted.
Real lightning can be over 100 million volts. It kills about 100 Americans a year. This 1 million volt jolt would still turn you into toast. Everyone's keeping a safe distance.
We're good.
The lightning will discharge into one of the heads. It takes just a fraction of a second. It's hit the head on the right. You can see it in freeze frame. Here it is again on high-speed camera.
Well, it went to the one without the barbell in it.
It did.
We learned a couple of really important things from the first test, and the first thing was that the lightning bolt went to the top of the head and no place else on the electrode, which tells us that that our rig is nicely set up. It's pretty neutral, and we are getting current to go through the head itself and not through the steel. The second most important thing that we learned about this was that the discharge actually went to the head without the piercing. So this not looking too good right now.
But the testing has just started. In the interests of accuracy, they move each head to the opposite spike.
We're just doing a control by swapping the heads on the rig and making sure that the rig doesn't prefer one direction or the other.
This time it hit the stud head.
Well, one, I think, really important thing that I just saw was, I guess I was focusing in the right place at the right time. I saw the lightning bolt travel down like this, and it went right along this pathway. It did not go to that. So even in the head, if this was an attractant, thing for the lightning bolt, it would have gone there and down or something like that. It didn't. I clearly saw it take a pathway right down to the top of this.
We're good to go on another shot.
So the lightning hit the head, but not the stud.
Same thing.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Interesting that it really doesn't do anything to the gelatin that we can see.
Truly.
So that's 2 strikes to the pierced head, 1 to the control head. Will swapping them back make a difference? It's the pierced head again, but a confusing pattern is emerging. The charge often goes to the piercing side, but it never seems to touch the metal. The MythBusters won't be satisfied until they can see the lightning hit the stud directly.
Jamie, we've now run this a dozen times or more. The heads are working perfectly. The rig is working great. We're getting consistent strikes, always to the top of the head. Not once has the lightning gone right for the stud.
Yeah, all we've got left to do is put a bunch of studs in there, some really big ones maybe, see what happens, see if we can get something to react to them.
Like nuts and bolts and knives and forks?
Yeah.
Adam has apparently read the Hannibal Lecter style guide.
All right, I think that's a pretty good look there, Jamie. What do you think?
Well, maybe more is better.
Let's fire it up.
Okay.
It went to the head with the studs in it.
Still didn't touch the studs. Went right down through the middle.
Yeah.
Maybe even more metal. Of course, if your tongue piercing is this big, lightning is the least of your worries.
I saw it go into the top of the head and go out to the bolt and back in.
It just goes to show, you know, don't put any really big bolts in your mouth during a thunderstorm.
Finally, a test for the mother of all studs.
Oh, cheek piercing there.
It's unlikely to catch on at many nightclubs, though it might just help you get in the door. Will it attract lightning? At last, a direct hit.
Well, that knocked the doorknob right out of his face.
The MythBusters are unconvinced that studs attract lightning. While the Zap did seem to prefer the head with the piercing, a lack of consistent direct hits suggests some other unknown factor was involved.
We could have done this 1,000 times and still not gotten that same result. You know, lightning is just really unpredictable.
You know, that might be the case, Jamie, but we do know that metal does have an effect. You know, depending on how much of it there is and where it is on the body. And we did get a strike right to the doorknob, but come on, who wears a doorknob?
The only thing this myth has shown the guys for sure is that Adam's wild days are over.
Heaven. Oh, God. That was horrible. There we go. My tongue is free.
The MythBusters get medieval. Can they turn a log into a lethal weapon?
Fire in the hole!
This myth is from medieval times, actually, and it involves a Hungarian town called Pakish that was being threatened by their neighbors. So the entire town got together. In one night, they apparently made a cannon out of a tree.
And they put some gunpowder in there, and they shoot off this cannon.
The entire body of the cannon exploded, killing half the townspeople.
And the mayor, in his infinite wisdom, looks up and said, "If we have so many dead, how many left of the enemy can there be?"
That's the earliest known record of spin, I think.
To test this myth, Jamie and Adam will try to build a tree cannon and see if it explodes when fired. To do it like the villagers, they need to drill a hole into a log using medieval-style tools. They'll have to fashion a cannonball and make some medieval gunpowder.
John, have you ever heard of a tree cannon or a cannon made out of a tree?
No, Adam, I frankly have not.
If anyone can help with this myth, John Morris can. He lives safe and very secure in West Virginia with his collection of more than 100 cannons. Wisely or not, he's agreed to show Adam and Jamie the safe way to fire one.
My back hurts just thinking about it. So we'll use a pre-measured charge of powder in aluminum foil. We'll make up a small cartridge.
Cannon Firing 101.
Are we ready to load?
I think we're ready to load. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
John's neighbors have learned to love the sound of cannons in the morning. It's only a blank, but this is still dangerous business.
From now on, it's going to be loaded and nobody gets in front of the muzzle. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. We're going to load. Then we'll take the fuse and hopefully it'll touch the powder inside. Ready to proceed?
You bet.
When you are.
Fire in the hole.
I knew that was going to happen.
You did.
They've seen how it's done. Now it's the guys' turn.
Is it possible to put too much powder in a cannon?
Certainly.
What'll happen?
Well, it will overstress the cannon, and the cannon could blow up. Now, you shouldn't be in front of the piece.
Exploding cannons. Food for thought for two first-time firers.
Fire in the hole.
Excellent.
Wow.
Very good. You're not qualified.
That's very exciting. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
That was really cool.
Tree cannons were used in 14th century England and just 100 years ago in Eastern Europe. To make theirs, Adam and Jamie need a European hardwood log, a big log.
This is a piece of English elm here that we took out. It's a tree that actually died from Dutch elm disease, and this weighs several hundred pounds, this piece here.
If I can do that with it, we can get it on the truck.
Jamie, you're doing such a good job.
Get out of my way. This was done in medieval Hungary. They didn't have power tools, and there would have been a lot of things that would be different about what we're doing.
They learned how differently by examining pictures of a 1,000-year-old toolbox found in Sweden. For authenticity, they want to make similar equipment. Jamie's starting with an axe to strip the log.
Getting a little workout this morning.
Adam's having a workout of his own. He's making a medieval saw out of a forklift pallet.
Now there's some medieval workmanship.
Well, I'm gonna heat this piece of metal up until it gets red hot. Hopefully I'll make something that resembles a spoon drill, which is one of the first drills that they used.
It's the best medieval drill Jamie's made all day. Now there's just one more job before they get started on the barrel. San Francisco has a community arts center that specializes in old-style forging. Instructor Chris Niemer specializes in keeping his cool.
Chris, we need some iron fans around this thing.
Okay.
We're making a cannon.
But if you don't hear from us again, you'll know why.
We'll know what happened.
The steel bands around the log will help it absorb the blast. They'll be heated in a furnace, then hammered into place.
When we start wrapping this, I think I'm probably going to have one of you two with a hammer just kind of tapping behind me. Test run number 1.
They've got to pull the band tight while it's red hot, then rivet it in place.
That's the ticket.
Oh, that's so close. Oh, it's good.
Rivets.
The band is cooling and shrinking before they can hammer the rivets home.
Somebody else grab this one up here. You got it.
Come on. Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
All right.
I got it.
Quenched with water, the band will shrink tighter onto the log. Just 4 more to go.
You know, it's funny how ye old techniques take ye old sweet time to get done.
Medieval techniques take some mastering, but each band is going on easier than the last.
Oh, but the vibration feels really good. Beautiful!
It's looking more like a cannon, but there's still no barrel. Will Jamie's medieval drill do the job?
Drill's nice and sharp, and I've flattened this out so that I can grab this like that to crank it.
Remember, according to the myth, the tribe made their cannon overnight. But this is slow work.
We're about ½ an inch in.
I need somebody with a whip and a drum.
They've got to drill through about 5 feet.
You know, just moving more, I guess.
Let's see.
Medieval tools just weren't built with myth-busting in mind.
Based on what I'm seeing here now, I'm thinking it'd probably take a couple of days to get through it. The myth says that overnight they'd be able to drill a cannon, and I would say that is unlikely. I would say that the myth is busted because of that.
They've come too far to stop now. Adam and Jamie resolve to test the rest of this explosive myth, and that means building the cannon their way.
I'm not doing anything that the Packish wouldn't have done if they had had a chainsaw.
While Adam is bowing to the 21st century, Jamie is staying well in the Middle Ages.
I'm making a cannonball out of granite, or a mess.
He plans to hand chisel a perfectly round cannonball. It's precision versus power.
That is a tree cannon.
Jamie hasn't done a bad job himself.
It's so far beyond anybody's experience that we're all like kind of blown away. Right. And don't think he didn't know it.
So they've made the tree cannon, made the cannonball. Now they need to make medieval gunpowder. They've called in expert pyrotechnician Jack Morocco to help.
You know, what we need to do here is something a little bit different in mimicking a medieval gunpowder formula.
Jack knows what ingredients existed around the time of the myth, so they can make up a crude gunpowder. But how well will it work? For safety reasons, they'll light the fuse electronically from a distance.
Ready?
Wow.
Nicely done.
I think that's very respectable.
Okay.
I think that'll do.
I think that's going to work quite well, yes.
I personally don't think we'll be able to blow this thing up. I think you could put a stick of dynamite in it and it still might not blow up. Of course we're going to try to blow it up. That's what we do.
Once more, in the name of myth-busting, Jamie and Adam head into the world, armed, dangerous, and set on destruction. It's a normal day out for the MythBusters. They're driving through San Francisco with a medieval tree cannon in the back of their pickup. Their destination? The abandoned runway at the Alameda Naval Base. The cannon is a replica of one built by medieval Hungarian villagers, which, myth has it, blew up when fired. With expert pyrotechnician Jack Morocco, they've made up a load of medieval-style gunpowder.
We don't want to drop this, do we?
No, we definitely don't.
You ready to load some powder there, Jamie?
Yeah, let's do it.
They're starting with 2 3-ounce cartridges of gunpowder.
All right.
The cartridges are forced to the bottom of the barrel. and a hole poked in the side for the fuse.
Ah, we are in the load. Tennis ball?
Okay. Well, did you bring your tennis racket?
I could stand out there with this, you know, and try to get a good hit on it.
The tennis ball will squeeze down on the blast, increasing the pressure in the barrel. An electric igniter is taped into place. They're ready to go.
Okay, standing by.
For safety, the MythBusters are behind Lexan blast screens.
Ready? Fire in the hole!
3, 2, 1.
Hot set!
Ooh.
Wow, it's still going. Is that a flaming tennis ball? I don't think so. That was a good bang.
Yeah.
Did anyone see the ball?
I'm gonna take the bicycle out there.
Is that where the paper cup landed?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
It seems their tree cannon has quite a serve.
Oh. A little singed.
You found it?
Wow, that looks great.
Doesn't look very much the worse for wear.
No, just lost some fuzz.
Well, the tennis ball went a little more than a football field in length, which for a tennis ball is a lot. And I think that, you know, when we put the stone in there, it's really going to take off.
Next up, the real thing, Jamie's hand-carved cannonball.
We're debating whether or not to put a single or a double load, either 3 or 6 ounces of powder behind it.
The extra weight of the cannonball will further compress the blast, increasing the force up the barrel. The guys know the safe way to go is a single 3-ounce load.
You comfortable with 6 ounces, Jack?
Yeah.
All right. Loading the cartridge.
It's double or nothing. Twice the powder, twice the danger.
At this point, no one crosses the front.
And be careful with that, because that's going to roll down there fairly quickly.
Yeah, so I gather.
Shock it.
Jamie's great creation is headed for a great adventure.
Satisfying little thunk.
Do you think we'll be able to find it?
You know, I'm feeling pretty certain that it's going to launch that thing a fair ways, but I don't have a clue how far. Are we ready, Jack?
Fire in the hole.
I don't have a clue where that went.
I didn't see a darn thing. Did you see anything? Wow.
What everyone did see was a remarkably successful tree cannon. They've proved you can make a cannon out of a tree.
A long way.
Really?
Yeah.
But Jamie's cannonball is long gone.
A little bummed out not to find the ball, you know. I put a lot of work into that thing.
It's a rough thing trying to find it. We've got a runway that's 1.25 miles deep. I didn't think we were going to find it, and I don't think it's unreasonable that we didn't find it.
The ball might be gone, but the myth-busting continues. Remember, the cannon in the story is said to have exploded.
Well, we're going to take all the powder we have left, which is about 12 ounces, 14 ounces of powder left. We're going to dump it all in here, see what happens. Remember, children, MythBusters has hired a licensed pyrotechnician to help us blow stuff up. You should never try anything like this unless you have your own television show.
I wish I had my rock back.
This is twice the amount of powder they've tried before. They're jamming everything they can find down the barrel to clog it up and increase the chance of explosion.
You have one other thing you want to add to this, Jamie?
I want to see this thing blow up. You know, it's keeps working. What are you going to do? So I'm going to jam a can of soda down this.
It's a tight fit, maybe too tight.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, it squirted out of the hole.
The water squirted out of the hole? Oh, whoops.
You could have done something worse, but I can't for the life of me think of what that might have been. Okay, here comes the golf ball. Oh, there's a lot of soda. Oh, yeah, it's definitely been contaminated by the powder.
Their chances of blowing up the cannon seem to have been washed away in a flood of soda. But the MythBusters won't take a setback lying down. Undeterred, they re-rig, calling in another pyrotechnician. He's got a jumbo-sized bag of gunpowder, and he's not afraid to use it.
Well, we put 6 ounces of powder in last time. What are we going to put in this time?
5 pounds.
Whoa.
Yeah.
5 pounds of gunpowder. On a danger scale of 1 to 10, this rate's about 9. Now it's at 10. They're sealing the end with an aluminum plug.
If this doesn't blow up this cannon, I don't know what will.
This is basically going to be a bomb, and there's going to be splinters going everywhere. So it's not a question just of hard hats. It's a question of you have to have something like a shield or an automobile or something like that between you and the cannon.
I'm going to get back about probably 150 feet on the field there, just in case.
The rest of the team is even further back. They're hoping that'll be far enough.
Is everybody all right? I mean, like, the heaviest parts go farther than the fence.
There's a piece of log way back there. Look at that.
Oh, my God!
It seems tree cannons can explode with even more force than anyone imagined.
Cannon went away. There's a little black on the ground around where the cannon was, and that's all that's left.
I'd say it's a very efficient way to split wood.
No, we don't have to lug that damn thing around anymore.
My God.
Adam and Jamie have busted a cannon, but proved 2 myths.
Maybe 80 pounds or something like that.
They've proved you can make a cannon out of a tree, and they've also shown the Hungarian townsfolk could have been wiped out when it exploded. Sometimes myth-busting is dangerous work. One for the road, as they say. But they bit off more than they could chew.
Cheers.
Can they beat the breath test?
This is definitely going to be a strange day.
Here we are at the San Francisco Police Department Crime Lab, and we've got the breath tester, and we're going to get drunk today, I think, and see whether we can get around the breath test.
Well, there's a lot of myths out there that are really kind of strange about all these substances you can use to potentially beat the breath test.
You know, Adam, I don't think any of this stuff is going to work.
I don't think any of things are going to work either, but it's up to us to imbibe and then further imbibe all of these things to show this.
So the idea is to get drunk, then put different products in their mouths to try to fool the breath test machine into giving a lower reading. The San Francisco Police Department generously offered its crime lab for the day. Officer Bruce Gendron will be watching over Adam and Jamie. Adam's drink of choice is scotch. Neat. Jamie's mixing vodka with cranberry juice.
I don't know if I've ever had a drink this early in the day. Nostrovia, Kampai, Prost.
Right there with you, buddy.
In California, you're considered legally intoxicated with a blood alcohol concentration of 0.08. Spirits are about 40% alcohol. How many the guys need to reach the limit depends largely on their weight and how fast they drink.
A little bit of food to cut the alcohol. I'm lit. It's like 1 in the afternoon and I'm lit.
Food does slow alcohol's absorption into the bloodstream, but their livers can only metabolize 1 drink an hour, and just 5% of alcohol is expelled through urine. Put simply, their bodies can't keep up.
So I've had 4 drinks, right? Yes, this is number 5. Let's try control.
There you go.
Here we go.
You want to try one?
Yeah, let's try one.
Go ahead. Very good. That's very good. Thank you. He's an 03.
That's an 03?
It's an 03.
Wow. I swear I'm a cheap date.
Adam, the police officer said you need to drink more.
You know, my doctor was also telling me that I'm not getting enough tar, so I need to start smoking again. Make it a double.
The guys have to drink up for science, far more than either would normally imbibe.
So we've had 13 drinks over 3 hours. I know I'm drunk, but I can't even remotely tell that you're drunk. It's kind of annoying. I want to see you like put a lampshade on your head or something.
Sorry, bub.
All right, let's go. I feel totally fine. Allow me to place this on your breath testing machine and I'll be happy to be tested.
You are pretty smelly. That's it. Keep it up. Listen to the music, and that's what we're trying to do, is keep that sound going. Very, very good. That's good.
1-1.
1-1.
All right, finally. Woo, we're at 1-1. We're over the limit. I'm guessing Jamie goes to 0.9. I think the extreme difference in muscle mass will make Jamie process alcohol a lot more efficiently than I do, apparently.
He's doing fine. You just sit over there and be quiet. It's rough enough having one of you here, but having 2.
Of course I'm causing trouble.
Yep, 09.
09, legally drunk.
Legally drunk and illegal behind the wheel. Strangely enough, the first refuge of a driver pulled over in this condition seems to be breath mints.
Right after you get stopped, and we're making it up to the vehicle and can see them rushing around in the car trying to find mints or trying to find anything to put in their mouth.
In America, if it looks like a rose and it smells like a rose, it's a rose. And if you have your certs and your mouth is fresh and you feel fresh, then perhaps you just aren't drunk anymore.
Unfortunately, you are. A roadside sobriety test quickly reveals that.
Okay, now stop. I want you to turn around just on the balls of your feet. With your right index finger, touch your nose. I think you just fell asleep.
40% of American road deaths involve alcohol. Nearly 17,000 people killed each year. To prove a driver was drunk, police usually rely on a breath test.
This man had already had 5 single whiskies, which he took some little time ago.
The breathalyzer was invented back in the 50s, where drinking whiskey often happened while wearing a nice suit.
Right, that's enough. He is up about 0.13.
Breath tests work because alcohol is carried by the blood into the lungs and exhaled. The amount of alcohol on the person's breath is proportional to the amount in their bloodstream. Over the limit, the guys will now try to beat the breath test using products that urban legend has it will confuse the machine. First up, those mints. Will getting rid of the smell get rid of the alcohol?
Ooh. Okay, that's minty.
1-0.
1-0. Fat lot of good that did me.
He's still blowing over 08. Maybe something with a stronger smell.
Your best bet is probably to hold your nose, literally, and just take a big bite out of this onion.
My eyes are watering here. Let's try and see if you were able to fool us. Nice and steady. Keep going. Keep going. That's good. That's good. Jamie, that was an 08. The onion didn't do anything.
Some breath testing machines act like a fuel cell. The more alcohol blown in, the higher the electrical current produced. That could well have sparked the myth keeping a battery in your mouth would beat the test.
Stuck on the battery now?
You get the battery.
Yeah, I'm letting you off easy, baby.
Being able to put a battery in your mouth and keeping it there without me knowing that it's there would be very, very difficult.
I would agree with him. It would be very difficult to talk with a battery in my mouth.
I'd say you're charged. It's a 1-0.
Another kind of tester relies on a chemical reaction. Perhaps throwing a little extra copper into the mix will fool it.
You ready? Nice, steady blow. That's it. Very good, thank you. 0.09. Pennies don't work.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen.
A third kind of machine uses infrared light to find alcohol molecules. Adam's going to throw in some denture cream, too.
Okay.
Adam, you did a great
Oh, that was nothing, baby.
0.11.
0.11. So, denture cream, a no-go.
Another pseudo-scientific mythology suggests hyperventilating might cleanse the lungs of alcohol for just long enough to pass.
All right. 1-1.
That doesn't work either. In fact, the myths are running dry. One last contender, mouthwash.
One wonders where you do this in a car while the police are like coming around to your window, but nonetheless, we'll try it.
Just nice and steady again.
0.43.
4.3.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, 0.43. Yeah, that's way gone.
Something's causing a false reading. A little higher at 0.5 is lethal. To iron out glitches like that, police always test you twice.
Very good. 1-3.
So it would appear that mouthwash doesn't work at all. I mean, even if they got two readings that were grossly out of sync, all they do is take your blood test, and your blood test would tell them exactly how much alcohol you have in your system. It would seem that nothing works.
On MythBusters, they do what it takes. 13 drinks, a mouthful of onion, and batteries, and pennies, and denture cream. It appears to be a sobering warning for any potential drunk driver.
Using the machine, you will be busted.
So what do you think? Is this myth busted?
I'd say it's pretty fairly busted.
Pretty fairly busted. I'd say it's definitively busted. You can't beat the breath test.
On this episode of MythBusters,
what are your plans, my master?
Dial E for electrocution.
We're going to take over the world.
Oh,
Yes. Could using a phone in a thunderstorm result in a call from the Almighty?
I'm feeling really Miami Vice right now.
Is it a boating blunder or a time-saving triumph? On the water with a new set of wheels? And it's a Civil War baby boom. Can getting shot get you pregnant? Who are the MythBusters? Adam Savage.
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
And Jamie Heineman.
I kind of like it in here. It's private.
Between them, more than 30 years special effects experience.
That was intense.
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test.
Jimmy, I know the phone wasn't invented when you were born, but you know, about the time you were growing up, were you ever told to stay off the phone in a lightning storm?
Yes, actually, we were told to stay off the phone, out of the shower, don't go under a tree, don't go out in the middle of a field with a large metal pole.
Yeah, that would be bad. Well, all the ones that occur inside a house that we've heard, from staying off the phone to staying out of the shower, we're going to test on this myth. Should you be on the phone in a lightning storm?
Here's the theory. Lightning strikes your house, or the phone or power cables leading to it, and it looks for the quickest way to the earth. Usually that's through a ground wire, but failing that, conductive wiring or metal plumbing is the fastest route. And if you happen to be hooked up to that... But can it actually happen? To find out, the MythBusters need a house and lightning. The second part sounds tricky. But it turns out they're in luck. Pacific Gas and Electric has a facility specifically built to test the impact of lightning strike on electrical equipment.
Jamie, I think
my house?
I think you should live here, man. It's great to visit a place that looks exactly like you think it should.
Yeah, it's a great place to recharge after a hard day's work. You need lots of space and lots of electricity.
They need so much electricity here, they use generators to make their own. So they don't black out all the houses for miles around.
This would be called man's feeble attempt to generate lightning. We can't even come close to generate what Mother Nature can generate.
Well, good for Mother Nature. How much can you generate?
What we can generate here is up to 700,000 volts at about 500,000 watts.
A real lightning bolt has more than 100 million volts, but 700,000 should do the trick. Now, before they get to fool about with lethal electricity, they need to build their stunt house.
We need a dial telephone, 2-inch conduit.
Yeah, might have that.
Roofing shingles. What about telephone jack and telephone wires?
The Building Resource Center is where old houses come to rest in pieces. You want it? Chances are they've got it. And also stuff you didn't know you wanted till you found it.
There we go. Jamie, I think we might have finally found a way to control me. There you go.
Come here. Come on.
They aren't horsing around here. The stunt house has to be as close as possible to the real thing. Plumbing, wiring, and of course, the phone.
Okay, I found it.
Do you have... Wow, look at that.
I have to keep it in storage because this is the red phone. When this rings, you don't know what's going to happen.
Hello, Batman. Batman, it's Commissioner Gordon. Oh, this is great.
And sooner than you can say, holy Heideman's handyman, our dynamic duo is ready to start swinging hammers.
The sample house I'm going to build is actually going to be fairly mobile. It's going to be on wheels. It's going to have full plumbing, full code electricity, exactly imitating what a house has. With a roof, with a pitched roof and shingles and exterior siding and everything like that. It's going to be pretty cool.
It's an old-fashioned MythBusters barn raising.
Ah! I should have put it on while I was down. Ta-da!
There's even a shower, complete with its own tank and pump.
Oh, yeah. That works.
Yeah.
But now, the all-important issue of wiring.
The total goal of this experiment is to make this house entirely accurate to the exterior of a house. And we're not actually trying to imitate what happens when lightning hits a house. We want to see what happens when lightning hits the wiring to a house and where those electricity jolts might actually travel. I mean, mostly wiring is just about following a path correctly, understanding the closed circuit, and then everything's pretty simple. It's just when you start distributing it, it gets pretty complex pretty fast. That's a really kind of scary junction, isn't it?
In fact, it's often pretty scary when Adam has anything to do with electricity.
Come on! How hard is it to get a light bulb to light?
This is hot because I wanted to make sure it worked.
Question: how many MythBusters does it take to change a light bulb?
I'm getting 120 volts, I'm just not getting any current.
Answer: just one. But you'll need to call in a certified electrician to make it work.
There we go. Well, that was easy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hopefully, we're not going to have any more problems before the test.
So I'm not sure.
Stephen runs an eye over the entire setup and finds the wiring does meet California's building codes.
You sure this is plugged in?
I'm sure that it's plugged in. Stephen, have you heard the myth or the tale that you should stay off the phone or stay out of the shower or not watch television or work on a computer during a lightning storm?
I can see the telephone or electric devices because if there's a strike in the house and you get a big surge, that would not be good for anything that's connected with wire in the house, be that a computer. I've certainly heard about people's computers pretty much melting and frying down. I've heard about problems with telephones, but I've never actually seen the melted pieces and held them in my hand.
Our little shotgun shack is all ready to go. We've got the computer set up, we've got 2 kinds of phones, we've got a television, we've got wall switches, plugs, junction boxes, everything to code, plus a shower that will be fully grounded. And we're ready to shoot lightning bolts at this thing. I mean, I've been ready to shoot lightning bolts at it from the beginning, but now we're officially ready.
And so Adam and Jamie will take their new home on the road. Its destiny is electrifying. But first, the MythBusters have a date with history. It's a Civil War story to shrivel the confidence of any man.
Struck by a bullet in the family jewels.
And stun any woman.
And caused her to become, in a family way.
Was there ever a pregnancy from making war, not love?
Guys, it's been a long time coming, but it's finally time to do.
Son of a gun.
Exactly.
All right.
One of the oldest and most bizarre medical myths. The story is about a young Civil War cavalryman who is shot by a musket ball. The bullet hits his tibia, ricochets off his tibia, goes right through his family jewels, and then pierces the womb of a woman standing on her porch watching the battle from 150 yards away. This bullet apparently still carried some viable genetic material because, as the story goes, she found herself very embarrassingly pregnant.
No.
Yes. Either they fell in love and got married, or he felt some sense of cosmic obligation, and they had several children together, and as the doctor stated, none of them looked as much like the soldier as the first one.
This story was first written up in the fancy American Medical Weekly in 1874, which leaves the MythBusters 2 questions to answer. Could a bullet ricochet like that? And could the genetic material survive the trip? Let's face it, it was Civil War. They were strange, momentous times. Soldiers marched their way into history, armed with muskets and bayonets. And a changed nation was born. So why not a son of a gun? Turns out this is the perfect time to test this myth conception. There's a massive Civil War recreation going on not far from home base.
We have a Civil War event here in Kearney Park in Fresno. It's the largest Civil War event in the western United States. We're hoping to give people a taste of their history and their heritage.
Company commander, front center. You're going to hold it just like this, and you're going to turn that cartridge upside down over the barrel.
Stand still here, and someone will regale you with Civil War facts you never knew, and probably didn't need to.
You'll then pull your hammer back one click to half cock. You then remove that.
It's ideal for the build team. They want to recreate this story exactly, starting with the gun.
Fire!
This rifle is a replica of an Enfield rifle musket, and this is a very typical weapon used during the Civil War by both armies. The story goes that, as I understand it, that it was a mini ball bullet that actually hit this cavalryman, and that's the bullet this weapon uses. This bullet was propelled by about 70 grains of black powder.
This weapon has a muzzle velocity of 1,000 feet per second, and a good marksman could hit a target 900 yards away.
I feel like charging right about now.
Look at this, Tori, you look excellent.
So they have their gun, but they say clothes maketh the man.
Oh, yeah.
What was the well-dressed gunshot victim wearing during the Civil War?
This is a pair of trousers that a Union soldier would be wearing. It is made of wool, as you can feel.
Wow. Well, what about the underwear?
Soldiers, and of course anybody during that period, wore what was called long johns, and it was an overall piece. You know, a top and the bottom part connected.
And they even wore them during the summer?
No, wore them during the summer.
Whoa.
Now, something for the lady of the house. Something retro, maybe, with just a hint of immaculate conception.
She would have pantalettes and a chemise. She'd wear her corset over the top of that. And then she would have 4 to 5 petticoats. And then she'd put her dress on.
Tight.
Apparently, people weren't in such a hurry back then. And as the troops ready themselves for battle, the build team has learned enough to start work on its own Civil War recreation of the reproductive kind.
When they say they're measuring out 70 grains of black powder, they're not actually talking about individual grains. 70 grains is going to be measured in this powder measure here.
Carrie's scaring the neighbors as she perfects the black powder cartridges.
Well, looks like it works. No human error can be involved here. We have to get this right. So I'm going to make a gun mount, a gun holder that we can aim really precisely.
More than a mount, Scotty aims to fit that old musket with a genuine Civil War laser sight.
We're gonna make one with a human bone that's dried, and then one with the veal bone, the little baby cow bone.
For his part in all this, Buster's getting a new leg, a real bone suspended in ballistics gel. Yes, Buster's going to take another one for the team. But there's already a problem with his uniform.
No, you just ripped that, Tori. Oh, man. Buster, you got a big old hole in your backside.
To be honest, with the experiments the MythBusters are planning, a hole in his backside is the least of Buster's worries. Well, we all knew it would happen one day.
What are your plans, my master?
We're going to take over the world.
Oh, yes. Yes.
The evil scientist in Jamie and Adam has finally busted loose. They're about to wreak massive global havoc. They'll start conservatively with this little playhouse. They've brought it to Pacific Gas and Electric's testing facility to tackle the myth that lightning can travel down your home's wiring or pipes and kill you while you're on the phone or in the shower.
So this is the arc. This is what the arc will actually come off of.
Why not?
This facility can generate up to 700,000 volts, but by using half that, they'll get more amps. It's that flowing current that does the damage. And since everyone's feeling pretty good about being alive, Chip, the Ballistics gel dummy, will be taking hits for the team. The gel has similar electrical resistance to human flesh, and Chip is grounded to the earth like a person standing up.
This electrode will give us about 200,000 volts. Now that's enough to make it jump across the 2 feet here, through these wires, down either into the electrical box here or through the phone lines.
Our test subject here, Chip, is set up with a phone strapped to his ear. We've also taped in some gunpowder in a little paper baggie here. And finally, we have our MythBusters patented heart paddle current meter setup, where we've got 2 copper paddles set up right where the heart would be. And if we read more than 6 milliamps of current across these lines, we know we've got a dead guy.
The MythBusters have added a couple of common appliances for realism, but connecting to mains power during a test would be dangerous, so they're left off.
I mean, we'll be able to see what the effect on a television or your computer is if you've got it plugged in during a thunderstorm. But unfortunately, we won't be able to have them running during our test.
I think what's going to happen when we zap the house is that we're going to see this nice long arc jumping from the electrode into the house. We may see a few little things sizzling and burning, and if we're lucky, we'll find a pathway that could realistically happen that will, show up on the meters as potential death.
We've done our best to duplicate in several different iterations what kind of wiring a lightning bolt is likely to encounter, but it's very unpredictable stuff, and even the guys here aren't exactly sure what will happen.
The only thing the experts can be sure about in this test is they don't want to be standing anywhere near it when it happens.
Barricaded off from a safe distance from the structure, the barricade position that people down here will have to stay behind during the test. Okay.
Here's how this will work. Electricity can jump through air. Every 10,000 volts adds about 1 centimeter to the distance.
Closing 200 over 5.
With the electrode in this position, when the charge reaches between 200,000 and 300,000 volts, it will zap across to the house. It's a waiting game as the charge builds. Their mad scientist fantasy is coming to life. That was 300,000 volts straight into the house's wiring. It generates an electromagnetic pulse strong enough to throw our remote camera out of focus.
No smoking, no sparks.
No smoke, no sparks from the phone.
Incredibly, Chip's phone call is uninterrupted.
Well, everything seems just like we left it. No problem, no reaction whatsoever. I don't think he got any current.
The jolt exited straight out the ground wire standard to most homes. But remember, this shock is much smaller than real lightning. So Adam will help it by creating the worst possible scenario.
What I'm going to do is there's no facility in the world can generate both the voltage and the amperage of an actual lightning bolt. Both together make this massive amount of electricity that will crawl across all sorts of wires. So I'm going to start cutting some grounds to the electrical wiring system and try and guide the electricity over to our person to see what would happen to the phone. There we go.
So, now minus the ground wire. Can that thin telephone cord carry a fatal charge?
100 kV.
He's hot. He's going up in voltage.
150,000. 200,000.
200,000.
220, 230.
the way it worked.
That was beautiful.
The lightning arced from the mouthpiece into Chip's head, setting off Jamie's charge. The jolt finding its way with disturbing accuracy.
That was awesome. I can't believe that worked so well.
Are we clear?
Do you want us to put out the fire?
I'll just blow it out.
Well, that worked like a charm. Did it fry the ear too?
No, it doesn't look like it did anything with the ear.
No, it didn't do anything with the ear. So a new phone, it arced through the mouthpiece and into the body. That's pretty serious.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's it right there as far as I'm concerned. You know, this is a standard phone. It arced through the mouthpiece of the phone. That's a lot of current to go through gel. So,
well, we can check and see what kind of current it is.
Yeah.
Remember, 6 milliamps across Chip's heart paddles would indicate a fatal shock. But there's a problem. The meter's blown.
We had it set on the 40 milliamp setting, which is more than enough to kill you. If it fried the fuse of this meter, that was a lot more than 40 milliamps going through it, and that's a dead guy.
Works for me.
So it seems it's myth confirmed. Even with a modern phone and modern wiring, you can be struck by lightning. As a second test, they'll try an older phone and an older style fuse box.
Closing 200 over 2, going up.
That sound is kind of ominous, isn't it?
That frying egg sound of the ozone.
200,000.
This time, Jamie's gunpowder didn't ignite, but Chip's was definitely hit, and the meter blew again.
We definitely still got continuity through the body and into the ground.
Well, I'm satisfied. Phones will do it. Phones and lightning.
Phones and lightning, bad, bad, bad.
Lightning fatality statistics bear that out. On average, about 75 Americans are killed by lightning each year, with 2% of those people talking on the phone at the time. The only good news for Chip's next of kin, powered up, the TV and computer still work fine.
I think it's time to move on to see if showers and lightning are a similarly deadly combination.
Let's do it.
Okay.
So, Chip's electrifying adventures continue, thrown out of the frying pan and into the shower.
There we go. That is too funny. People have written into the site and specifically told us that they were always warned as children never to take a shower during a thunderstorm. We have grounded plumbing, which is running near electrical wire. We're hoping for a short between the electrical wire and the plumbing. And then our guy here, I've put a ground wire directly into him. This is basically equivalent to if you're standing in the shower and you're standing on the drain, which is also grounded. It looks beautiful.
Now, the guys learned in the third rail myth that fluid streams aren't great conductors. The liquid breaks up, so there's no direct path. But at these voltages, who knows?
They're ready to go. Ramp it up.
140 kV.
It's alive.
Okay, proceed and close 200 over 2.
Okay, we're up to 243, almost 250 kV.
I hear it. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
It's amazing.
I'm not sure what I saw, but I saw it.
Only the MythBusters could manage to start a fire in the shower.
There you go. Here.
So, Chips is saved from the fire, but was he already toast? The meter is inconclusive again. The electromagnetic pulse that messed with our camera could be frying it too. Even so, there seems little doubt you don't want to be in the shower during a storm.
I don't care what the meter says. We're not even remotely approaching the actual strength of real lightning, and nobody can. And yet we're getting these massive arcs dancing across this guy's body.
Arcs the size of boa constrictors that are kind of like wiggling right next to you. You kind of get the hint that there's going to be a problem there somewhere, don't you?
Exactly. I'm looking at phone confirmed, shower plausible.
I'd say that's a safe bet. That amount of voltage and power can go anywhere, and so if you have a lightning storm, you want to minimize the possibility of exposure to the bolts.
Stay away from things that can conduct lightning to you. Appliances can do it, water can do it, your plumbing can do it. Stay away from those things. I think we're done.
The Civil War was the bloodiest conflict on American soil. 4 years, 600,000 dead. But amid all that misery, could a life have been created? Was there a son of a gun?
There was a gentleman out on the battlefield, and he was struck by a bullet in the family jewels.
Continues on, hits a young lady in the abdomen and impregnates her.
Just for now, forget making a baby. Could a bullet even make the journey from leg to, well, a private's privates?
Cavalrymen oftentimes fought dismounted. It's very hard to hit anything sitting on a horse. Horses move. When they dismount, they tend to kneel. It gives them better accuracy, a position like so. All right? So, if someone is firing at me, the bullet hits me in the lower leg, continues on, and who knows what's behind me.
So it looks plausible. And now Buster gets to play the unhappiest cavalryman in the world in what will be the first of 2 tests. The MythBusters need to see if a mini ball fired from their Enfield musket could pass through a leg and still have enough energy to fly on for hundreds of yards.
3, 2, 1. Oh, low.
Low and to the left.
Come a little more left.
Civil War expert and marksman Jim Mitchell is helping adjust the sights. But darned if they just don't keep missing.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Do you think the laser's jiggling when we fire it?
Could be the recoil, yeah.
Come to our to your left, half inch.
Good.
There.
Perfect.
3, 2, 1.
It's low and to the right this time.
It was a lot lower.
Ay, ay, ay.
All right, well, clearly modern technology is not helping us out here. We're gonna have to do this old-fashioned way. Think you can pull off this shot?
Sure.
There you go, sir.
Very good.
We've got Buster set up with a artificial calf, which is ballistics gel with a real tibia and fibula in it. Jim's going to aim for that, and we're going to catch on this grid back here a high-speed shot of what that bullet's exit velocity is.
If Jim hits the leg in exactly the right point and the bullet leaves, we will be able to measure the speed that it leaves at and be able to tell whether it would be possible for the bullet to travel the other 150 yards and hit the woman.
So in the interests of ballistic investigation, Buster gets a brand new leg. But long and bitter experience has taught him not to get too attached to his limbs. And that is especially the case today.
All right. In 3, 2, 1.
We have pieces of bone.
Traveling 1,000 feet per second, the mini ball passed straight through Buster's leg, blowing out a piece of bone on the way.
It looks like it went through the ballistics gel and it just collapsed. All right, let's get another leg over here.
They've prepared several legs with different types of bone for comparison. And despite the vintage weapon, Jim is deadly accurate every time.
That feels like a bone hit to me. I don't know.
Completely
Do you think that was
shattered
it?
at the bottom, yes.
That
Yep.
was the most recent hit?
Yes.
All right.
So, and right on center.
Even passing through leg and bone, the bullet's still too fast for the high speed, around 1,000 feet per second.
Well, whatever the speed it actually is going, the bottom line is this. We know that the bullet is capable of actually going through all the clothing, penetrating the bone and the flesh, and still keeping going at a deadly velocity.
Absolutely.
So,
the myth is not busted right here where we thought it might be.
Yeah.
It's passing right through all that stuff, so it's time to move on to the womb and see if we can bust it there.
All right.
So the next test will have a womb with a view to busting this 150-year-old myth and laying to rest this story of an impossible baby and the most unlikely of marriages.
We heard it was honor. I heard he limped back and married the girl because it was a virgin birth and he wanted to keep her honor.
Well, the Yankees would say that about themselves, but if it really happened on the Yankee side, her daddy had to go get a shotgun. We know what they're like.
It's a big day out for the MythBusters.
I'm feeling really Miami Vice right now.
They're going boating.
Waves, woo!
But this is no ordinary cruise.
So what kind of speed are you getting now, Jamie?
They're going to recreate the dumbest mistake on the high seas.
Carrie, I'm trying to figure out what this is from the title, and it's not making any sense. What is trailer troubles?
This is actually about inexperienced boaters. They were taking their boat out. The boat just wouldn't get any horsepower. It wouldn't go. It couldn't get above 5 miles an hour. So they took it back to dock. They called their repairman to come find out why the boat's just not working. The repairman shows up. He tries the motor. He tries everything. Seems to be okay. Dunks his head under the water. Realizes the trailer's still attached.
This is bound to catch on. Boating with the trailer attached. The MythBusters are going to need some nautical know-how to live this dream. Jay Meiswinkle is their man. He's helped out before on the scuba diver myth.
Hey, Jay. Hey, Jay.
In his capacity as outboard motor guru, Jay has heard it all. Even this myth.
The last time I heard it was about 1.5 years ago, and it was emailed to one of the parts guys up front, and he printed it out, sent it back to me, and it basically said the same thing. Some things are considered amphibious, and they just figured it was supposed to be there.
Fortunately, Jay shares the MythBusters' passion for the preposterous.
This is like what I had when I was a kid.
And better yet, he has a 13-foot Boston whaler he's willing to lend to the cause.
The boat dog.
This is Ruger. He goes boating more than most boats.
All right, Jay, so what do we need to do to prepare this boat for this test?
Well, the boat is already strapped to the trailer, but we will be adding a couple of more straps on there just to help you with the myth, not to recreate the entire incident, but to make it more plausible and safe for you.
Now, Boston whalers have a reputation as being extremely hard to sink. This one has a 25 horsepower motor, but funnily enough, has never been tested trailer on. Sometimes the only way to get to the bottom of a myth is jump right in. Of course, that's also the way to get to the bottom of the bay.
I guess the worst case scenario is that we could sink, but we're not short a Coast Guard, so maybe the worst case scenario is a cranky Coast Guardman yells at me a lot.
You know what the worst case scenario is going to be?
What?
A bunch of people around here are going to see us launch the boat with a trailer attached and then take off, and they're going to say, look at what that blonde is doing.
Now, you won't even find this in the lesson plan for Boat Launching 101 because it's just too obvious. When you launch your boat, you back it in, float it off the trailer, and the trailer stays with the car. Happy days.
I got a GPS system so we can track how fast we're going in the water.
Cool.
So while you're driving, I know exactly how wily you're getting.
The plan is to test the boat without the trailer first, to see just how fast it can go under normal conditions. Or as normal as they can be with Rev Head Scotty at the wheel.
Let's see what this baby's got. Woo! Yeah! 14, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21. Hey, if we throw the cameraman overboard, we'll be a little lighter, we'll go faster. Hey, look at all those poor fools going to work today. 23 is our top speed so far.
So, Carrie and Scotty have proved you can have a whale of a time in a whaler doing 23 miles an hour. So now, throttling back a little, the real test. How will it perform trailer on?
The way we're actually going to do this is disconnect it before it goes in the water and put a line or a tow strap on it, and then just kick up the front wheel and it'll support itself to roll in there with the trailer. You don't want to try to submerge the boat and trailer with the truck, because then you're going to have to put a snorkel on the truck.
Is this how you would strap it on if you wanted to get the boat in the water with the trailer?
This is how the Myth would be. They would have normal transfer straps holding the trailer on, but since we're testing, we're going to add some more.
These straps shouldn't affect the boat's performance, or lack of it, just make it more secure. And now, perhaps the biggest question of the test, all strapped up, would the boat even float?
Is she buoyant yet?
No, it'll take a little bit. Yeah, that's floating. That thing's really buoyant.
Yeah, look at that.
It's still afloat, and so is the Myth. Now the hard work is done, Jamie and Adam have arrived for the fun part.
My prediction is that it will significantly slow the boat down. I know from experience with these kinds of boats that anything at all that's on the bottom, like barnacles or anything like that, will dramatically reduce the speed that the boat's capable of. And I can't think of much worse than a trailer to attach to the bottom of a boat as far as slowing it down.
My prediction on the speed with the trailer attached, if the top speed was 22 miles an hour, I'll say 8 or 9 miles per hour.
With that boat and that engine, I'd say we're going to get between 6 to 10 miles an hour at most out of it.
With barely a thought for their seafaring reputations, Scotty and Jamie take the new trailer whaler for a spin. A very slow spin.
It's already moving kind of sluggish for that speed, isn't it?
Come on!
Got it!
So what kind of speed are you getting, Jamie?
We're going 4.7 miles per hour, and we're at full throttle. Whoa, we hit 4.8 for a moment there. That's flat out, right?
That's flat out. It does not go any faster.
Sure, it's slow, but even so, it seems this myth is entirely plausible.
So maybe those people weren't as stupid as we originally thought.
What are you doing?
What's our speed?
It's not helping.
Do you think it's worth trying to ride just right out of the water onto the ramp?
Well, that'd certainly be a lot more interesting than doing what we're doing now.
So it works, and maybe the MythBusters are onto something. The amphibious runabout.
Yeah! That makes boating much easier. I think we're going to start a new trend here.
Something tells me that you'll be in the shop this weekend, Jamie, working out a motor drive for these. So what was our maximum speed?
4.8 miles per hour.
4.8 miles an hour, under our lowest estimate.
Kind of a slow jog.
Well, this is one of those myths that worked out so well, almost too well.
So I think it's totally, a reasonable myth that it could have happened.
In fact, it has happened at least once.
We had to deliver a new boat and trailer to a customer of ours who had a ramp in the back of his house. But during his original design, he did not think of trying to put the trailer to the back of his house. In doing so, the best thing we could come up with was to launch a 19-foot Boston whaler with the trailer about a mile away, and we just kind of putted on over there with the trailer attached to it.
So, this is a rare day for the MythBusters. Not only have they replicated a myth, they've verified that it's happened in real life.
That's a pretty small boat, too. I mean, it had a small motor, small boat, with an 80% loss of power. I think with a larger boat, it'd be much easier to drive around and not realize that your loss of power is because you've been an idiot and left the trailer on.
Confirmed, but totally goofy.
Easily confirmed, easily goofy.
The MythBusters have shown, ballistically at least, the son of a gun myth is possible. But now, a setback. While the term son of a gun does stem from those times, it seems it has nothing to do with this myth.
Sailors lived on the gun deck, and so that's where they fraternized. So a son of a gun is a child that is conceived on the gun deck of a British man of war.
And on that naughty nautical note, it's back to the range, where no such shenanigans are tolerated.
I don't know.
The MythBusters are setting up their second experiment, which will test if viable genetic material can be carried on a bullet.
This would represent the 15 layers of petticoats and various undergarments that the women of that era would have on.
Ballistics Gal is the eventual target in this experiment.
We'll kind of arrange it like so, like a skirt, and there you go.
What I'm wondering is how to aim through a bag towards a target you can't see.
200 feet away, Civil War expert Jim Mitchell is contemplating the most unusual shot of his life.
As this, I'm going to need to shoot off a bench. So
he not only has to hit Ballistics Gal, but on the way there, the bullet has to pass through this pouch of Civil War trouser material. And in the pouch, well, let's just say a sample of genetic legacy has been obtained and dyed blue for easier visibility.
Genetic legacy? It's sperm. Any kid in grade school knows that. Helps make babies, you know?
It's still viable.
Oh, there's one.
Oh, one's swimming, there's one, look.
Yeah.
Dude. He's like, yeah, check
Yeah, we got a few
out.
here. So, I'm gonna put the sample in this cloth bag that simulates the 4 layers of cloth, 2 layers of long johns and 2 layers of woolen pants, and we will fire through these.
If any blue swimmers wind up in Ballistics Gal, well, we're probably getting ahead of ourselves. They hardly know each other.
By setting up these circumstances the way that we believe the myth says, we'll be able to prove that it is so unlikely that it might as well be said that it's impossible.
once it goes through that, there's no guarantee it's going to go straight.
Right.
We'll do our best, but
This myth has stood untested for nearly 150 years and now hangs on Jim's aim.
Everyone's ready? In 3, 2, 1. Bloody hell, I think he did it. Wow. That's amazing. He did it on the first try. That's just incredible.
It went all the way through.
It did? Yeah. Fantastic. Do you have a scraper?
Yes, I do. I guess I should scrape the entry, huh?
Yeah. Oh, that's a perfect shot.
I know, I can't believe you pulled that off.
Amazing. Jim, that was just a perfect shot. It was really stunning.
Jim's done his part. Now, entry wound samples will be examined under a microscope for traces of still viable genetic material. But first, spare a thought for our hero and heroine. Could the unhappy cavalryman have survived this wound? Could Ballistics gal have lived to tell her unfortunate tale? Constance Smith Golda is at the cutting edge of Civil War medicine.
So say Tori here's a Union soldier. You have to treat him anyway. And he has had a mini ball go through his tibia and proceed through his... Will he survive?
It depends on how quickly he's gotten medical attention right on the battlefield. If you can get a tourniquet on you and stop the bleeding, and they can get you back to a field hospital or a field station like this one within, oh, say an hour, yes, we can try very hard to save your life.
So the woman that actually gets hit with this bullet, is she going to be able to survive?
If I'm not going to be naked in front of my husband when I am bearing his child or conceiving his child, I am not going to get naked in front of a strange doctor in the middle of a battlefield hospital and have him look at me. She probably would have bled to death out of embarrassment more than anything else.
Well, that's a blow, but back to the experiment. Did the bullet deposit genetic material in Ballistics gal?
We're scanning for any residue. Keep on moving. Well, if anything was moving, you'd see it.
Yeah.
I don't see anything.
I know, I don't even see any things that look like our cells.
I mean, I can see all sorts of stuff, like the thread residue, the burn residue, pieces of the petticoat. I mean, there's tons of identifiable stuff in here, but none of it is genetic.
Keep going. Keep going.
So, at a distance of 200 feet, nothing was transferred from the pouch to Ballistics gal. As a double check, they try again from 50 feet.
3, 2, 1.
This time, Ballistics gal is brought in for a more thorough exam.
You know what? We're just not finding anything. I mean, we fired right through that bag of genetic material from 50 feet away. I really think we've done the best effort to find anything.
A birds and bees reality check is in order here. Yes, sperm does form in the testes, but the mature guys live higher up. And while one mature sperm causes fertilization, many are needed to first break down the walls of a woman's egg. A lucky survivor on the end of a bullet just won't do it. So how did the myth start?
Constance, why do you think people tell this story?
Because it's a wonderful, dirty story. Everyone's salacious. We want to talk about what someone else did. Plus, there were a number of young ladies that really desperately had to explain how that child got here.
It seems after all that, this great Civil War myth was really just a great, embarrassed cover-up.
But there was some truth to this myth, that a mini ball could go through fabric, through flesh and bone, and easily go 150 yards.
Yeah, but despite Jim's remarkable shot, there's just no way any biological material would survive on that hot bullet, even over 50 feet. We found burn marks on the petticoat and still weren't able to find anything in our scrapings.
So I think that myth is pretty much busted. I never get tired of doing that. Never. Busted.
On this episode of MythBusters.
See anything?
Zombies, the undead. Roaming the earth, hunting for brains. They found us again. Long thought of as fictional.
It's you and your damn cigars.
Well, it sure ain't your brains. Well, they are fictional.
That doesn't mean we can't test with them, though. Welcome to the MythBusters Zombie Special. Say it with me, brains! Say it with me, brains.
Brains.
There you go.
The Day of the Dead has dawned. Assembled for the apocalypse and joined by the Walking Dead's master of mayhem, Michael Rooker.
I hate zombies.
The team tackles a trio of survival tall tales.
Rule number 1, aim for the head.
First, when faced with the army of darkness, does the axe actually outgun the gun?
Groovy.
Then, how exactly does an undead horde heave down a door?
We're coming for you, old man.
And finally, can walkers really outpace the human race?
You do run faster when zombies are chasing you.
Who are the MythBusters? Adam Savage.
70% chance of science.
And Jamie Heineman.
Are you done screwing around?
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience. Together with Tori Belleci.
Let's chop this car up!
Brent Imahara.
Nothing to take me!
And Carrie Byron.
This should be fun.
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test. Stand by for some facts with your fiction. It's MythBusters versus Zombies. If you've ever screamed at the screen, "No, take the axe, not the gun," or argued over the apocalyptic logic of the horde's ability to bust down doors, or wondered why slow-paced, shuffling zombies ever catch anybody, then the MythBusters are here to help. This is the science of the dead.
What's up first?
Well, let me ask you, if you were surrounded by a zombie horde, you could choose only one weapon. What would you choose? The gun or the axe?
The gun.
Right, most people would, but there's a myth that the axe is in fact the better tool.
Really?
Yeah, so what do you say? You take the gun, I take the axe, let's go find some zombies.
Zombies are fictional.
Right, let's go find 100 people willing to dress as zombies.
Okay.
How hard could that be?
As it turns out, not hard at all. MythBusters fans love getting dressed up. Now, how exactly are Adam and Jamie going to test the weapon's lethal efficiency without actually hurting anybody?
Now, since Jamie's weapon of choice is a gun, and the only fictional way to kill a fictional zombie is with a headshot, we're gonna need to shoot our zombie volunteers in the face, which means we're gonna have to protect the faces of our zombie volunteers.
The answer is plastic face protectors.
I think this is gonna work.
And paintball guns.
This is gonna make my day.
Yep, it's shooting Adam in the face day.
Bullseye! Jamie hit me dead between the eyes while I was wearing my zombie mask, and I didn't feel a thing, which is exactly what I want our volunteers to be feeling. So now the prototype works, it's time to mass manufacture at least 100 of these.
So with the shop converted into a factory assembly line,
come on, baby!
Adam produces masks for each of our century of volunteers.
All of this work just so that Jamie Heineman can shoot strangers in the face. For science!
Next, Adam turns to the myth-preferred method for wasting walkers.
Now, I'm quite sure you all agree with me that the weapon I've chosen for killing zombies, the axe, is far superior to the gun. But since zombies don't actually exist and I won't be able to drive an actual axe through their ever-loving undead skulls, I'm gonna have to come up with a safe way for killing our zombies.
Cue Adam's clever cushioned cleaver. It'll leave a safe green paint splatter for every zombie brain splattered.
Oh, this is awesome. The paintball paint that I put in the compartment last night has beautifully seeped through the foam. Let's see what kind of mark it makes. That is the mark of one dead zombie, except that they're already dead. Let's just call them inactive zombies. Let's get to testing!
And so, with weapons at the ready,
You'll like this place. It's nice and creepy.
the team assembles at the perfect location for a spot of zombie annihilation.
For testing the most efficacious method for dispatching a zombie, a gun or an axe, we have come to one of our all-time favorite locations. It's not only a big enough space for us to really see and understand what's going on, it's suitably post-apocalyptic.
I feel like I'm being chased by a crawling zombie.
Yeah, brains! If I was hiding out from zombies, this is exactly the kind of citadel I would seek out. Zombies!
That's the arena. Now, how will it be used?
The methodology here is pretty straightforward. I'll be standing in the middle of a 30-foot diameter circle that is the human zone. Woof. These zombies will be dotted around the building in their green zombie zone. Now, when we give the signal, they will start their zombie shuffle towards the line of demarcation. Come on. Now, we can't engage them until they reach that orange line, but once they do, they're all ours. I don't expect to make it through all 100 zombies. The question is, how far will I get?
Brains. And the rules will be the same for me, except I'm gonna be packing a gun. Bang.
Brains!
That's the rules and regulations. But how about the test subjects?
Now, let's be honest. Zombies are fiction, which means every way of dealing with them is also fictional. But for the purposes of our experimentation in this episode, we are holding to some agreed-upon zombie tropes. For instance, our zombies are slow-moving zombies. They're real zombies. As for how to dispatch them, we thought we needed an expert, so where better to go than the one and only Michael Rooker, aka Merle Dixon from The Walking Dead. He is going to show Jamie some of his preferred methodologies for dispatching the undead.
Michael, any advice on taking out zombies?
Well, I notice you have a couple of handy-dandy weapons here. Well, all we need now is a zombie, I guess, huh?
Oh, we got plenty of those.
Cue the undead man walking.
I see. Well, thank you. If they're approaching, you just pop them in the knee. Bang. They're still approaching. Pop them in the other knee. Bang. Of course, they are kind of hungry. And they're a little... Okay, usually I grab them and hold them down like that, and I pop them in the head. Bang.
Nice.
Whew, that's one down. But to test which weapon is the most efficient to deal with zombies en masse, we need a horde.
That is an awesome view.
And for experimental accuracy, they need to know exactly how to move.
Good morning, zombies. Oh, no. Like zombies. Good morning, zombies. You might recognize this gentleman to my right, Michael Rooker from The Walking Dead. Now, Michael is going to give you guys a lesson in the zombie shuffle.
Using all his Walking Dead experience, Michael coaches the volunteers on zombie behavior. An unintelligent, slow shuffle towards food.
Much better.
With a unique twist.
That's good. Cut. Okay, very good. You're scary. You know, and everybody, you got to develop your own walk. If he's an individual zombie, you're all individual zombies. You're not cookie-cutter zombies. Develop your own deal.
With the demonstration complete, school's out.
All right, commence zombie shuffle now.
And the terror begins.
That is positively
terrifying. I'm happy they're not trying to eat me right now. That's all.
And with the horrifyingly realistic horde assembled,
listen to that sound.
It's time to get down to experimental business.
All right, zombies, are you ready? Adam, are you ready?
I'm ready, sir.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
You're zombie meat, brother.
I don't think I killed more than 20.
I'll count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11, 12, 13.
13, that's it?
That's not many.
Here's something that you should know about this test. Me being in the middle of this kind of scary warehouse and having 100 really nice people who've dressed as disgusting zombies ambling towards me is nonetheless terrifying, even though it's pretend. Even though I only killed 13 in that test, I'm still feeling really good about the axe as the weapon of choice. Dead! Dead! I just feel like that I can reload faster than Jamie will be able to with the gun. Oh, I've been killed! But just to make sure that that test was accurate, I'm gonna have the zombies brought out again. I'm gonna try a second time so we can average my results across both tests.
Adam, back from the dead, gets ready once again to take on the undead.
All right, zombies attack in 3, 2, 1.
Will Adam be able to use his knowledge from test 1 to improve his zombie count? He's a blur of action, holding off his creeping, moaning, and shuffling attackers as long as he can. But, as before, by sheer weight of numbers, the encroaching slow-motion zombie tsunami overwhelms our axe-wielding hero.
I think I got further this time. I think I killed more.
He did, but just barely.
I got 15.
I got 15 as well.
15 it is.
Which is an average kill count of 14 and good, consistent data. But will it outgun the gun? Up next is the Heineman.
I just want to get warmed up.
And he means business. Zombie killing business.
Groovy.
What is a zombie? A zombie is a mindless, reanimated corpse with the hunger for human flesh. How to kill a zombie? You cannot kill a zombie for they are already dead, but you can stop them by destroying the brain. One misconception about zombies is that they only eat brains, but zombies have an appetite for all human flesh. How to be infected by a zombie? The most common way of infection is through a bite from a zombie. If you do encounter a zombie, run away and contact your local authorities immediately.
Up next, can the walking dead really catch the running living?
In every zombie movie, there's that scene where the horde descends on somebody and just tears them to shreds. And that is the myth that we are going to be testing. Can you escape the zombie horde?
Okay, this is one thing that I've always wondered about, because traditionally, don't they just shuffle at like 2 miles an hour? And it feels like you could just outrun them.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, maybe you could outrun 1 or 2, no problem, but what zombie apocalypse only has a couple zombies?
Okay, I see what you're saying. It's a numbers game, and that's what we're testing.
Exactly. This is gonna be the best myth ever.
The zombie horde has their undead eyes on the living prize. But despite shuffling at the speed of a decomposing corpse, the result is somehow inevitable. The unarmed, fleet-footed humans always get caught. And it's a brain buffet.
How do you guys want to test this myth?
All right, well, let's set up an area, say, the size of a football field, and then get a zombie horde. We'll see if we can run through it and escape them.
All right, well, that means we need some zombies, and we need to figure out how they're supposed to behave.
Well, I know the perfect person who's an expert on zombies. He can tell us what they can and can't do, and he'll help us set up the parameters for our myth.
Sounds good.
So the team will stage the apocalyptic Olympics. It's humans versus the horde in a race for survival. But first up, Tori's meeting one of his Hollywood heroes, legend of the undead, Greg Nicotero.
In order for us to test these zombie myths accurately, we need to get some more information. So we're here at K&B Studios, a special effects house. They are responsible for pretty much every zombie you've ever seen in any horror movie. Not to mention the show Walking Dead. So we're gonna go talk to Greg Nicotero right now, who is pretty much the king of zombies, and get a little bit more information. We need some zombie data to test our myth. We just need to know a little bit more about zombies and what they can and can't do.
We used the scene in Night of the Living Dead in the cemetery as our sort of holy grail for zombie movement. They're not very quick. They're attracted to sound. I think sometimes they're attracted to light or dark. I don't think they're very smart. Generally speaking, you just gotta make sure that you don't get overrun by too many of them.
So, armed with the experimental rules of engagement,
All right, zombie apocalypse, we're almost there.
the team assembles at Apocalypse Ground Zero.
Need my zombie killing hat.
We are here at the Alameda runway to test the myth that you can't outrun a zombie horde. Now, the way we're gonna test this is we're gonna create a part of a city that has been overrun by the zombie apocalypse. Now, all we need is a zombie horde.
So we have 150 volunteers for our zombie horde.
Oh my God. Here comes the horde.
Now, for us, that is the perfect number because in our designated area, all of those volunteers represent a population density of Manhattan. That's 90,000 people per square mile.
We're gonna scatter them around the field and try and run from one end to the other. We'll be wearing these mini brains on our backs. If they manage to grab one of these, that means that we haven't escaped the horde. It means that we've been eaten. So now, it's time to bring on the zombies. This is freaking me out.
I don't like this at all.
This is terrifying.
Well, they asked for a zombie horde. Now, some ground rules.
Welcome, zombie horde!
Rule number 1, zombies can only move at a slow shuffle.
Rule number 2, your brains are infected, so you have no rational thought.
Rule number 3, this is your target. Brains!
Let the brains begin!
With a code of conduct established for consistent data,
I don't want to do this anymore.
the animated deceased disperse randomly over the experimental space. A field of play 100 yards long and 55 yards wide that our humans have to cross while keeping their brains intact. And first up to race for the human race is Carrie.
I have to say, I'm kind of nervous. First of all, that girl right there looks like she's actually going to eat me. I don't know if I'm gonna make it through.
It looked a lot easier before the zombies showed up.
All right, let's go.
So with Grant and Tori observing from a safe overhead distance, let the games begin.
Oh, there she goes.
At the heart of this brain game are the numbers. It's one human versus a zombie horde of 150.
Oh my God, that is terrifying.
And Carrie is dodging and weaving at 10 miles an hour, while the walkers can only chase at 2.
She's looking good. She's gonna make it.
Great.
Ah!
No way.
Yeah, she's gonna make it. Come on. Come on.
Oh.
And those numbers
Yeah!
add up to Carrie's survival.
Yeah! You do run faster when zombies are chasing you.
Their ineffective shuffling meant the ravenous zombies couldn't lay a hand on her. The myth that you can't outrun the horde is off to a bad start.
So Carrie survived the zombie horde, no problem. But you know what? The next thing we're gonna do is increase the population density by 50%. And this time, it's Tori's turn.
So the field of play is reduced in size.
All right, 25 yards in.
meaning the zombie density is increased to 135,000 people per square mile, matching parts of the massive Indian megacity, Mumbai.
I hope you like Italian food. Oh boy.
The apocalypse has reached epidemic proportions.
You guys ready? Ready when you are.
Run, Tori, run!
Oh, dodge, weave, good job.
The zombies are clearly more densely packed. But Tori, reliving a twisted version of his high school football dreams, makes it to the end zone safely.
Oh my God.
I made it! Yes! Do I have all my brains? Yes. So I made it through the zombie horde with all my brains intact, and it was insane. The adrenaline was flowing. The zombies were trying to eat me, but I made it through. But now, we're gonna do it again. This time, we're gonna increase the population density even more. This time, Grant's gonna go for it.
Yep, the myth that you can't elude a legion of living dead is looking deceased. But there's one more host to offer the horde and one variable to adjust: density.
So what we're gonna do next is increase that to 180,000 people per square mile, which is the most densely populated area in the world. And I'm up next.
Hi, everybody. This is Michael Rooker, and welcome back to the MythBusters Zombie Special. I hate zombies.
Well, he's come to the right place, because Adam and Jamie are testing the myth that when it comes to wasting walkers, axe trumps gun.
I have already confronted a zombie horde with an axe, and I was able to down 14 of their undead brethren before they got to my brains. Now, it's Jamie's turn to do the same with a gun and see if he can do any better.
Despite looking good while warming up, Jamie isn't too confident.
For this test, I'm going to be using a 7-shot pistol. Now, the big challenge here is going to be reloading, because while these zombies are moving kind of slow, they do have a way of sneaking up on you.
And there's another issue. Swinging an axe is a lot easier than the pinpoint accuracy required for a zombie headshot. Jamie has his work cut out.
Well, our zombies are all properly protected. You ready to shoot some in the face?
Bring it on.
Okay. Good luck. I hope you get more than 14.
It's time to find out. Jamie and his single-action handgun versus a legion of brain-eating zombies. And the legion of brain-eating zombies wins. Convincingly.
So Heineman's score, 25 seconds?
6 zombies.
Not a very good score.
Sad.
I would have thought I would have done better than that. I just got through one clip.
That was really stunning to watch. I can tell you from experience, it's creepy to be in there while everyone's shambling towards you. And he's doing this kind of looking back and forth. It's real tension. And then all of a sudden, like 4 seconds later, the entire circle is full of zombies and Heineman went down. Now he's gonna go for a second run and he's gonna be a little more prepared for this one. I can't wait to see what he comes up with.
What he comes up with are more guns, more ammo, and more style.
This time I'm loaded for bear. I've got 2 on the legs, 2 on the waist, 2 on the shoulders, 1 in the hand. I've got 2 bullets for every one of these 100 zombies. I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Heineman, are you? I can tell you're ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Guns versus zombie. 3, 2, 1.
This time, Jamie has a pump-action paintball rifle that he can reload much faster. And he starts well, working his way through the walkers much more efficiently than his first test.
6, 7, 8.
But it's still not nearly quick enough.
Oh, no, that's not good.
I'm no expert, but that looks really bad.
Yeah.
Once again, he's overwhelmed before he makes significant inroads into the undead.
I was trying to build a wall of zombies around me so that I could keep these guys away from me, but I tripped on one and then I'm into the soup again. And I still only got off, what is this, 8?
Yeah, 8.
That's how many shots I can get off before they're on me.
Well, that's a result.
And the result couldn't be clearer. Compared to a mobile, axe-wielding Adam, it takes Jamie too long to reload, steady, take aim, and take out the walkers. The numbers don't lie.
So what do you think? What's the final tally?
Well, my average was just over 7 kills.
Mine was 14 kills.
Double.
Double. Axe wins.
At least with single action or pump shotgun.
Sure.
Well, that settles it. Yeah, axe wins.
Bladed weapons rule.
And with the axe confirmed as the apocalyptic weapon of choice,
this is their reward for the hard work. Zombies! Brains!
It's chow time. Filmic folklore suggests that despite an average speed of just 2 miles an hour, the zombie horde always gets its prey. But with Carrie and Tori already successful in evading the zombie shuffle, it's Grant's turn to try and keep his brains intact.
They look hungry.
He's facing the highest population density on the planet, an incredible 180,000 people per square mile. It's the worst-case urban apocalypse scenario, and the last chance for the myth. But he just can't make it through.
Oh no!
One mistake, and he's down and sworn.
There's too many!
So Carrie succeeded in outrunning a horde that was the population density of Manhattan. Tori succeeded at a slightly higher population density of 135,000 people per square mile. Unfortunately, when we got that density up to 180,000 people per square mile, that's where it all fell apart, and I could not escape the horde.
When the horde is in a tightly packed urban environment, it doesn't matter that they're slow. So with the myth back in the balance, what next?
They might move slow, but if there's enough of them and there's no room to move, you're gonna get caught. But we're not gonna end it here. We're gonna try to come up with other tactics to try to trick the zombie horde and see if we can escape.
So, day 2 of the Dead Dawns, and the team once again rendezvous in an attempt to outrun the apocalypse. And this time, they're each packing a plan. After all, when the end is nigh, a good survival strategy is essential.
So we found that we were successful getting through the zombie horde with our head-on dodge and weave technique, but only up to a certain point. So we've come up with some alternate techniques to try and escape the zombie horde. First up is Carrie Byron.
With the horde once again dispersed at the maximum population density, it's time to reveal Carrie's diabolical plan.
All right, Carrie, what's your technique? Duct tape? How's that gonna save you from a zombie horde?
I was thinking maybe like a limp or something.
Oh, that's good.
But then I thought that this would be so much better.
What the?
Wait, what is this technique?
No! Hey, zombie!
No!
It's a classic bait and switch, the type of tactic Merle might deploy. With the horde distracted by a free meal on wheels, Carrie makes a run for it and makes it to the end zone and freedom.
I live!
Her cynical use of collateral damage
Thanks a lot, Carrie. Way to throw me under the bus.
means she bought herself enough time to avoid being lobotomized.
Zombie apocalypse! The rules of friendship do not apply.
Yep, if you have an enemy or co-worker to sacrifice, escaping the horde may be possible. Up next, it's the might of the living dead.
What's up next?
Zombie teamwork.
Zombies don't do teamwork, they're dead stupid.
Right, zombies don't talk to each other to do teamwork, but they do all have a common instinct, and that means they often work together. You see it in zombie movies all the time. Our heroes are barricaded behind some kind of big door, and the zombies know that there are brains behind that door, and they all gather up, and they're pushing at the door, and they're pushing at the door, and eventually through the force of all of their bodies, they break the door down.
So what you're saying is sort of like many dead hands make for light work.
Many undead hands make for light work, and I think we should test that.
Sure.
It's a classic living dead cliche. Dinner's on the far side of a door, a barrier hastily barred by the desperate living, and yet the uncoordinated efforts of a zombie horde somehow combine to successfully bust down the door. Question is, does a mob really rule, or is this physical force fiction? To find out, Adam and Jamie head for a suitably remote location to test humanity's last stand against the approaching apocalypse.
Look at that.
It's perfect.
Let's get started. The barn I'm standing in front of is 153 years old. That's right, it was built when Jamie was but a wee lad. And this door is the line of engagement between us and the zombies. It's where we will have our last stand.
There we go. Perfect.
Now, we don't want to hurt any part of this beautiful artifact, so we're not actually going to use their door, and we're not even going to use their barn. We're going to build a steel frame within this door frame that we will attach our doors to for proper zombie testing.
Stylish doors.
They look great. Bring out your dead!
Speaking of dead, Adam will be joining Team Zed, but he doesn't want to actually die. So, in an experiment designed to test the forces of a crowd crushing up against a securely bolted door, serious safety measures are required.
If you take 100 people and have them pushing against an immovable object, and if each one of them is able to exert something like 50 pounds of push, that totals about 5,000 pounds of pressure. So with that in mind, we've come up with this as a solution. Belly bump. These are polyethylene corrugated sewer pipes. Now, you may recall seeing them first on MythBusters in Raccoon Rocket, where we used them as cannon barrels.
Oh my God!
They're light, and they're super strong, and they should do the trick.
All right, here we go. Zombie peer pressure test in 3, 2, 1, push.
And do the trick they do. Just like their undead brethren, the volunteers feel no pain while shoving as hard as they can.
Like, I can't move, but there's absolutely no movement in the chest protector at all. These irrigation pipe sections worked perfectly in this experiment we just did. Our zombies will be able to apply all the force of a full crowd of zombies without hurting the creamy centers of any of the humans playing those zombies. These are working great.
Yeah, they're perfect.
With the crush protectors in place, Jamie lets the locals know where the food is.
I've laid out the banquet. Now it's time for zombies.
Meanwhile, Adam's been bitten and turned, or he's had an extreme undead makeover. And Jamie's getting into character.
If you're gonna keep zombies out, you gotta have a door. Problem with a door like this one is there's gaps between the slats, and the zombies can stick their fingers through them. But you can hack them off one at a time like that. They don't like that.
What they do like are brains. Juicy Jamie brains. Question is, can they break down the door to get to him?
Hello, I'm a zombie. And inside this building apparently are some brains. In a few minutes, some zombie chaps and I, about 90 of them, are going to make our way towards this door and attempt to push through it using only the power of our own bodies. I personally believe we're going to down this door like a set of matchsticks. Whatever's inside, that's dinner.
Joining Jamie for the Z-Day door duel,
I hate zombies,
is Michael Rooker.
Come on, you want some of this? Come and get it!
who seems to have reverted to his Walking Dead character, Merle Dixon.
Come on, come on!
This is it. Will the individual's random 50-pound push force somehow combine at a coordinated point of pressure? And will that be enough to break the barn door cross brace?
Maybe we better back up a little bit.
I think let's get out of here. This is not good. This is not good. What do we do now, Jamie?
I never even slowed down. You're gonna need a stronger door.
Is everybody okay? The door came right apart. It just pulled one of the planks up. From the inside, it was pretty impressive. That was a massive bodies that just came right in like a column. They didn't even slow down.
Told you I hated zombies. Went right through that door. No effort at all.
Yep, like a hot knife through soft, buttery brains, they broke down the barn door without breaking stride.
Being on the zombie side of the equation for this experiment, fantastic. Because I'm choosing a side in this battle, but it's not with the living. I reached that door with my zombie brethren behind me, and I don't think I actually even broke stride. I touched the door, zombies touched me, and whoom, we were through and we were heading for Jamie. That was stunning. Can't wait to see what a stronger door gives us in terms of a challenge.
With a mixed body bag of results, the myth that outrunning rather than outgunning a zombie horde is up for grabs. Carrie managed to distract with a decoy, but up next is Grant. And as you might expect, he came prepared.
Are you gonna be inside this?
No, my double will.
As far as he's concerned, when it comes to evading the apocalypse, robots are the answer.
So this is my zombie distraction technique. Now, yes, it's gonna employ distraction just like the others, but it's a little bit different. This is a robot that has light and sound. And it's going to have a mannequin that looks like me.
So Grant has a very complex strategy here.
When I'm ready to deploy, I'll turn on the lights, turn on the sound, it's gonna scream just like me, it's gonna look just like me, and it's gonna draw all the zombies over there, and I'll run the other way.
Hello, zombies, here I am. Come and get me. My brain is juicy and delicious.
That is working really, really well.
Look at that. They're all going towards the robot. It's working.
And Grant plays it perfectly, waiting until all the zombies within hearing distance are sucked in.
And delicious. Come and get me.
So that when he finally makes a run for it, he has a clear path to freedom.
Yeah! I made it!
First day Grant didn't quite make it, so he had more motivation than any of us to make this distraction work. And it worked really, really well.
My brain is juicy and delicious. Come and get me.
He did it Grant style. He pulled out a robot with lights and noise and yelling. All the zombies hoarded in on it, and Grant could sneak around the side and get to freedom.
Yeah! I made it!
I gotta give it to him. I might put robots in my zombie kit, because right now all I've got is duct tape and a machete.
So it's Tori's turn. And back when he visited Greg Nicotero, he had a zombie makeover masterclass.
Looks like you're done.
That gave him the idea for his deceitful distraction technique.
Let's see if I can blend in with them.
Yep, Tori is attempting to hide in plain sight. Before the zombies dispersed, he hid in one of the car wrecks. Now he has to get back to the start line before completing his lap of the field. Will the volunteers recognize the human dressed as a zombie? Will his bloody, decomposing disguise stand up to scrutiny?
Tori's made it all the way here.
What?
He's made it all the way here, and he's heading back.
But halfway to the finish line, he's discovered.
Oh my God. Oh. Well, it's kind of worked at first. I mean, I was able to sneak through the horde, but then at one point, a zombie recognized me, and then it was all over. They were all onto me.
But it doesn't matter, because as long as one of us made it through in one experiment, that means it works, and it's busted.
That's right. Distraction is a technique that allows you to escape the horde. This myth is busted.
Totally busted.
Busted. And you could say the team is thrillered with the result.
When I first heard that we were gonna test zombie myths, I had two reactions. One was, oh my God, this is the best day ever. But then my next reaction was, how are we gonna test this scientifically? But we actually came away with some results. Now, it was difficult, and the more condensed they got, the harder it became, till the point it was impossible. However, Grant did figure out a way to distract the horde in order to escape. So, it's busted. This is the most fun I've had in so long.
Is it true that a mass of zombies can combine their push pressure into a door-busting force? Jamie, Merle,
Come on, you want some of this?
and savage head of the undead, Adam, are attempting to find out. So far, unlike the door, this movie myth is bearing up.
Jamie, go get him!
But our human survivors aren't going down without a fight. Suppose their hideout wasn't such a rickety old barn.
So, Jamie, what do you think about this new door?
Well, it's a lot tougher than the last one. This is a proper gate. It's got carriage bolts at the corners of all the main structural members. Something's going to have to snap for them to make it through that.
Well, that should give them something to think about, huh?
Yeah.
If they think.
My zombie horde and I are now going to attempt to breach this barn, except that its doors are new and improved. They're made of thicker wood, which is bolted together, and more powerful hinge points. I still think we're gonna go through it like a matchstick.
A crucial element of the myth is that zombies can't coordinate their push. They're simply straining to find food en masse. But for safety purposes, some ground rules need to be established.
Okay, Adam. What a sight.
Our methodology for test 2 is actually going to be slightly different than test 1. Test 2, Jamie and I have concerns that the doors might give way in unexpected ways that could be dangerous to me and our zombie volunteers. So what's going to happen this time is when I get up to the door, I'm going to stop everyone, and we are going to slowly increase the pressure on the door. That way, we should be able to see if anything's going awry or not going the way we want it to. We're coming for you, old man.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, push!
Yep, the new and improved door isn't nearly strong enough.
Huh? Zombies, we made it!
Not quite, because Jamie has something up his sleeve that's make or break for this myth. Literally.
So here's the scenario. You've got 100 hungry zombies after you. You've got a barn to hide in. And we've already shown that that many zombies can exert an enormous amount of pressure on something they push against. So what are you gonna do? What they do in the movies is they grab every spare piece of lumber they can find and they nail it all over the doors and windows. I don't trust those hinges. That's what I'm gonna do. We've already built a sturdy gate, but it's not quite sturdy enough, so I'm just gonna nail the crap out of it, and we'll see whether I can hold them off that way. Let them sink their teeth into that.
This is the part of the episode where things get exciting.
Are you ready?
Do your worst.
I'm coming back with friends.
We did some door reinforcement, and now, as to whether or not we will be able to make it through this door with our collective amount of force, I have no idea. I'm actually really curious about how good Jamie's reinforcements are and how much power we can bring to bear.
This is awesome.
Ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I heard some cracking. Hold on. We're going to try that one more time. The same thing again. 1, 2, 3. Oh! One more time. I think we'll go through this door. You are meat, Heidemann. Hold on. 3, 2, 1, go. 1, go. Oh! It's repelled us.
And that's bad news for the myth. Unlike the movies, despite all the creaking and cracking, Jamie's barn door defenses are holding.
We're coming for you, old man.
But if there's one thing zombies have got, it's persistence.
There's brains in there! 3, 2, 1, go!
Huff and puff they might.
Yes, Bert!
But the door remains tight. And Jamie does his victory dance.
Never gonna happen.
Zombies give up, Jamie! We give up. Zombies, let's go home!
The zombies give up. Jamie's defenses held up, and our victor lives to fight the living dead another day.
The door was actually really frightening me. It was bowing quite severely, and we had screws pop out. The hinges themselves are starting to curl and come inward.
3, 2, 1, go!
But despite being compromised, it was never breached.
I have to tell you, having been right there at the center of all the action, there was a couple of times I thought it was going to give way, but there was enough pieces of wood that even with the cracking and the splitting and the bending and the unrolling, I could still tell that we could have batted on that all day long. We weren't going to make it through. So where do we stand on the collective power of zombies?
Well, it does add up if you have enough of them, but it's not limitless.
No, it's not.
Yep, and with the myth that zombie power can always pop your hastily reinforced portal well and truly busted, the Day of the Dead is done.
Do you know what I'm really glad about?
What's that?
That zombies don't exist.
What do you mean?